On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be having a look at the new Thundercats toys from the new cartoon. This comes to us from Bandai. Today we're having a look at the evil Mumm-Ra. Never had a chance to get the original Mumm-Ra. Of course, he was a mail-away figure. But really loving the cartoon. The cartoon is awesome. It is awesome, and I'm very glad that I finally started picking up these figures. The figure itself has a magnet-powered Thunder Lynx, which is just a back magnet that activates vehicles and whatnot. But this comes to us from Bandai. Up at the top corner, we've got a new version of Mumm-Ra, and I really like the fact that they kept really the idea of Mumm-Ra relatively similar to his original version from the 80s. I like that quite a bit. It also appears that he comes with a Sword of Omens dagger. Other delightful things. On the back of the package, we'll zoom back a little bit here. Thundercats is an epic fantasy combining swords and science and boasting ferocious battles between good and evil. It says Mumm-Ra is the essence of evil, a supreme sorcerer whose name alone strikes fear into the hearts of all. You can collect them all down below, and of the figures available in the smaller scale format, we've got ourselves Lion-O, Tigra, Panthro, Chitara, Wily Kit, and Wily Cat. You can also get the Thunder Tank, the Lizard Cannon, the Thunder Racers, as well as the Tower of Omens playset. Of course, each sold separately. You won't get all of them inside this package. If you think that you will be, you clearly have no idea of scale whatsoever. It says connect with other Thunderlinks products. You can download the snap tag as well and go to www.bandai.com/Thundercats. So that's packaging on Mumm-Ra. I'm going to take myself a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and we are going to have a look at the evil sorcerer known as Mumm-Ra. More to come, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And for the beginning of the review, I've decided to leave the cloak off just for the time being, just so I can show you guys the Mumm-Ra figure without the cloak first, and then we'll add on to it. Zooming into Mumm-Ra here. It stays relatively similar to the original Mumm-Ra. All bandaged up there. On the back is where the magnet is. Now I'll level with you. The Mumm-Ra figure in this particular form, at least, this Mumm-Ra figure is very limited. It's very limited in articulation. He'll have the standard swivel in his head. It looks like it could be a ball joint, but it really doesn't do anything aside from move back and forth. His arms will swivel all the way around. There is no articulation in his arms themselves. They're just a rubbery plastic. You can move them around if you want, but you're not going to keep any sort of position in them. However, his wrists do move. So you can kind of give him that really creepy old man kind of stance. There is a swivel in the waist, and that is it. The rest of it, again, is just a rubber material. I really like the bandages, though, and I like the bandages how they hang off of the sleeves as well as hanging off of his head here. I think that's a really nice touch. So now that we've seen that, yes, he really doesn't do all that much articulation-wise, let's get the cloak on him. It's really not much involved at all. We're just gonna sandwich the cloak itself is just a rubber, so we're just gonna just drape it really over top of the figure, and you have really something like that. And sure, yeah, okay, he doesn't really do much as it is now, but he does have a decent look to him. And again, he's got the red cloak, harking back to the original Mumm-Ra. The one thing I don't really like about this particular figure is the hood itself. The hood, I wish it was a little more opened and kind of hung a little off the top here. Just kind of more hung over. It looks a little silly on him the way it is now, but I can really live with it. It's not really a big deal. Accessories also that Mumm-Ra come with, if I zoom back the camera here, and we'll just put him down for a second. Is he going to stay? He is not going to stay. He's just going to lay down. Mummies do that. Let's just let him lay down. He also does come with the claw attachment. And the detailing on that is pretty nice as well. Very similar to Lino's. There's also a section on the back, right here, where you can take the dagger Sword of Omens. And you can take it and pretty much just line up. Right where these slots are, line up the actual handle part of the blade and sandwich it in there. And you've got yourself a section to hold the Sword of Omens. You can take the handle, or take the actual claw. Now I find it's a little harder to get it on there when he's got the cloak going on there. Might be a little easier for him to hold it without the cloak. So you can get it back on there. There we go. And you have something that looks like that. It's probably not going to stay on very well. Again, it would stay on a lot better when you have this cloak off. This cloak kind of gets in the way and ultimately nudges this just enough that it kind of falls off once in a while. But there you have Mumm-Ra. I wouldn't necessarily display him with this anyways, so I'm not going to be all that upset the fact that it doesn't stay on very well. You can also take the Sword of Omens and you can put it in his hand. It doesn't hold well, granted, at all. Kind of have to just have him loosely holding it with his thumb. Really the problem is that the sword is rubber. The fingers are also rubber on Mumm-Ra, so it makes just for a little bit of a difficult job holding weapons. The only thing I would really say, aside from the fact that his hood could have been a little nicer, is I wish he had come with a couple other accessories. That's really about it. I mean, it is what it is. It holds up just as well as the original Mumm-Ra figure. The one in the 80s really didn't do all that much either. Sure, you limit yourself to how much you can move the figure itself, but at least you can move the arms, you can move the hands, and that's really all you need from a Mumm-Ra figure anyways. A really nice display piece. Certainly, if you're collecting the other Thundercats figures, Mumm-Ra is a must-have. Today's toy spot. Oh, by the way, a rating for good old bandages here. If I give Mumm-Ra a rating, I'd give him a 6. He doesn't really have a lot going for him, but for the fact that he is Mumm-Ra and he's a cloaked mummy, really that's all you need, right? I'm going to give Mumm-Ra a 6. Today's toy spot, we're having a look at the Bandai Thundercats 2001 series figures. Today we're looking at the smaller scale figure of Mumm-Ra. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more Thundercats reviews to come, and I will see you guys next time.